Wow, I just got done watching the Las Vegas race for the Cup Series, and I have to say, this race overall was really, really, really good. And finally, Kyle Larson is in victory lane and gets redemption after what happened last year. He is back in NASCAR. He wins at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What's going, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. And today, we are talking about the Pennzoil 400 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. This race overall was really, really, really good in my opinion, especially in the first half of the race. There was so much good racing throughout the field, and early in the race, there really was not a dominant car at the beginning of the race. I mean, we saw so many lead changes to the field. The Hendrick cars at the beginning of this race, especially William Byron, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Larson, were arguably the fastest cars early in this race. But when the competition came out, apparently Chase Elliott had some damage on pit road. He was really leading before the competition yellow came out. And when that came out, Chase Elliott basically would end up having to come down pit road, and he actually would end up losing the lead on this race. And then the restart happened, and Kyle Larson was able to take the race lead for a couple laps, and then Denny Hamlin was able to take the race lead back for a little bit. And then once again, later in the run after the second caution race, because second caution race would come out for some debris, I think, on turn number 2, turn number 3. That would bring the caution out. And then there were some good battles throughout the race, like I mentioned. And then Kyle Larson was able to take the race lead. And then for a little bit, and then again, the caution. And then Joey Logano was able to get the race lead over for a little bit. And then Brad Keselowski was on fresh tires because for whatever reason, Kyle Larson on the debris caution for whatever reason. He decided to come down pit road after, being the fastest car up to that point. I really don't know why Kyle Larson came down pit road at that time, to be honest with you, because I guess they had a really, really good car with the tires, because they were so loose in the early runs. I guess that's why they stayed out, but I thought it was a bad decision because he would basically fall out by the end of the stage. Brad Keselowski was able to get the race lead back from him, and then Brad Keselowski was able to pull away, and he actually would end up winning stage 1 in this race. Chase Elliott finished 2nd, Ryan Blaney 3rd, Denny Hamlin finished 4th in the stage, Alex Bowman would finish 5th, Christopher Bell would finish 6th, William Byron 7th, 8th place is Matt Benedetto, 9th was Joey Logano, Mark Truex Jr. would finish 10th. Kyle Larson, who restarted his race later on that racer, he would fall outside the top 10 on that ensuing restart. And then we go back racing for pretty much for a long time in this race, and then there really wasn't a caution at all on the stage. We actually saw green flag pit stops, and Kyle Larson, he drove his way all the way up to the front. He actually was able to get the race lead later. He had Keselowski and Elliott and those guys, and Ryan Blaney also leading in this race. But Kyle Larson got back up there, drove up there, especially all the great racing. He was actually able to get the race lead and was able to pull away. But William Byron was really, really close behind him. Then green flag pit stops happened, and then once that happened, Kyle Larson was able to soon the race lead. He had some guys that stayed out for a little bit longer in the race, like Michael McDowell, Anthony Alfredo, and Tyler Reddick. They all stayed out to try to get some points as well, and maybe catch a caution here to maybe change up the race, because Michael McDowell, he had a win, so he really had nothing to lose up to this point. But Kyle Larson, once all the pit stops happened, he was able to get the race lead, and he was able to win his first stage of 2021 and win stage 2 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We would go back racing on lap 170 race with Denny Hamlin taking the race lead up to this point. And in the first caution for incident would come out with around 96 laps to go in the race. Chase Elliott would get a little bit sideways. He had a huge run coming up to Christopher Bell, and he would get sideways going down the backstretch, and he would get some damage on the left front quarter panel because he got into Kurt Busch as well. Kurt Busch to be involved. Both guys would continue on, and they honestly, I think they both would end up having okay days overall, in my opinion. And then we go back racing on lap 175 of this race, and then Kyle Larson, he actually was, I think, able to get back out. Actually, Larson was a little bit farther back in this race. Denny Hamlin actually was, and Mark Truex Jr. were batting really hard. And in the final caution in this race that actually came out for incident was between Eric Almirola. Eric Almirola had a tire go down, and he hit the outside wall, and that would bring the caution out, and that would be the final caution of this race. And then we saw a long stretch of green flag racing. Like I said, the restarts were absolutely fantastic in this race. Denny Hamlin was able to pass Mark Truex Jr., and then Kyle Larson would actually make the final pass on the track legitimately with 61 laps to go, and he was able to pull away from Brad Keselowski, who had the second best car overall in today's race. And then Kyle Larson just drove off. Then green flag pit stops happened, and Kyle Larson actually would miss pit road. That's why Brad Keselowski was able to be really, really close, and that almost really took him out up to this point. And then there was a potential of a caution, and even though Kyle Larson had a really big lead, there still was that potential of a caution coming out, because a lot of times, especially last races, Las Vegas, there has been a late race caution that has come out late in this race. But we were very, very lucky for that overall not to happen. But unfortunately, well, fortunately enough, There was almost a Quinn House situation last year at Texas Motor Speedway. Alex Bowman, around 15, 16 laps ago, he was running in the top 10, and he would have to come down pit road because I think he had a tire going down at the time, and he would come down pit road, and the Alfredo almost zoomed by and almost clipped, and that almost was really, really, really bad. But nothing did happen, and once that happened, nothing really happened in this race. Kyle Larson is able to get through the traffic, race his way clean, and Kyle Larson finally, after being out of sport for so long and getting back into the sport, Kyle Larson wins his first race of 2021 in dominating fashion. Can I just say really, really quick, Kyle Larson deserved the second chance when he got the second chance, and it is really awesome to see that Kyle Larson was able to win today. I mean, for the sport's sake, this is really, really, really huge. I mean, yes, a lot of people are still going to be pissed. I saw a lot of people pissed once the race happened, once Kyle Larson was able to win. But for me, as a Kyle Larson fan, yes, he made that mistake back in April, and I talked about that. But, I forgave him pretty quickly, and then I saw his redemption, doing things in the community. He once again deserved the second chance, and Kyle Larson has officially arrived this year. I expected Larson to win this year, but I thought it was going to come, at Homestead last week, but he wasn't as good there. But, he's really, really good, but he wasn't as good there. But this week, man, Kyle Larson led 103 laps today and put on a dominating clink in a dominating fashion. I think he overall had the best car, in my opinion, and he deserves to win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And it is really awesome when a guy like Kyle Larson can win. This is really, really huge overall for the sport. So, once again, huge congratulations to Kyle Larson on winning today's race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I am so happy as a Kyle Larson fan to see him come back. I think he's still going to win a lot more races this year, and this is a very interesting thing to know. Looking at the guys and when they get their first win for Hendrick Motorsports, he's actually the fastest driver to win for Hendrick Motorsports at 4 starts. The next driver was Terry Labonte at 7 starts. That's an interesting fact that came out, which I found really, really surprising. It seems like it takes a lot longer to get your first win at Hendrick, but man, this is the first win of many to come, in my opinion, for Kyle Larson, and I'm so happy as a Kyle Larson fan that he finally scored a win in 2021. I'm so happy, and I think there's many more to come. He can win Phoenix next week, too. He was really fast last year at Phoenix, so keep an eye on Kyle Larson this weekend at Phoenix as well. So let's talk about the race results and give you my score of today's race. Kyle Larson wins. Again, best car overall of the day. Congratulations, Kyle Larson. Brad Keselowski finished in second. Brad also had a really good day. I think he had the second best car overall today. The Penske cars came to play definitely today, and Brad Keselowski had a really good car. Great run for Brad Keselowski, and a better run than last weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Kyle Busch finished in third. Definitely a big redemption. He struggled early in the race, but they got that car figured out. They just didn't have enough for the end of the race. But man, really good run today for Kyle Busch, finishing third. Great redemption, which for him and Ben Bayshore. Denny Hamlin finishes fourth. Denny Hamlin had a solid day overall. He's currently the points leader when you look at the regular season points. Denny Hamlin with a strong fourth. Great run for him. Ryan Blaney finally scores a top 5, man. Ryan Blaney has struggled to start this year, but big bounce back in redemption day. 5th place for Ryan Blaney, stronger for him. Mark Truex Jr. finished 6th. I thought Truex is going to be a little bit more of a factor, leading more laps this race, but a 6th place run, especially at the strong run at Homestead. Great run for Mark Truex Jr. today. Christopher Bell with a bounce-back race here, 7th. He didn't run really good last week in Homestead after winning Daytona Road Course, but he came back and had a really strong run. Great run for Christopher Bell. William Byron backs up at a top 10. He led laps early in this race, too. Hendrick cars look really, really fast early, but a couple of the Hendrick cars would have trouble at the end of the race, but a solid day for William Byron. I think he's here to play, and I think we're going to see more wins coming out of William Byron this year as well. Joe Logano with a 9th place run. He was my pick coming into this race, and I expected Logano to be more of a factor today than he was, because both races last year, he was a really big factor in the spring race, even though he wasn't the best car overall. He was like the 3rd or 4th best car. But man, Logano's car was just not good for the race we saw today, and got a 9th place run. Not a bad run for Logano, but definitely going to need to have more speed. I think it's a better finish than last week's race, too. So 9th place, not bad. And Eric Jones getting a 10th place run. I want to give a huge shout out to Eric Jones, man. Eric Jones gets a top 10 run with Richard Petty Motorsports Equipment. I know last year they got a top 10, but they got that because of strategy. This year, he got that on speed alone, and it's really good run for Eric Jones, man. Awesome to see Eric Jones get a top 10. Good stuff to see right there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., another driver, had a really strong run. 11th place. Great run for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well. Another top 15. I think he got top 5 last year. But 11th place, great run for him. Austin Dillon with a 12th place run. Not bad run for him. Chase Elliott after the damage, he fell back. And after spinning, he kind of rebounds to 13th place run. Not a bad day overall for Chase Elliott, but not a great day either. 13th place. He's going to get it around. I think he's going to win here really, really soon this year as well. Chris Buescher, 14th place, not a bad run for Chris Buescher. 15th place goes to Ryan Preece. Community said Ryan Preece today ran really, really well as well. Ran top 16 and top 15 most of the day. Deserved a top 15. Hopefully some sponsors can come to Ryan Preece because Ryan Preece, I think, is a very talented driver. He's doing a really good job this year. Great run for Ryan Preece. Matt DiBenedetto finishes 16th. I expected DiBenedetto to do a lot better than he did today. If you're a Matt DiBenedetto fan, I am a little worried for Matt right now because Matt DiBenedetto has not been really good. He didn't run terrible today. He ran a lot of his race in the top 10, but I think they had an issue on a late pit stop. I think they only put on 3 tires instead of new tires instead of 4, and that's what cost him overall. But 16th place, not a great day for Matt DiBenedetto fans. I definitely think you should be worried for Matt DiBenedetto's potential to get in the playoffs, but he'll make up some points this week, that's for sure. Mike McDowell finishing 17th today. Top 20 run overall. I expect him to be a little bit worse today than he's been the first few races, but this is the worst run he's had all year. And still getting a top 20. Not a bad run for Michael McDowell. 18th place goes to Ryan Newman. 19th, Kurt Busch, and Kevin Harvick finishes 20th. Harvick, absolutely not a good day for Kevin Harvick. He absolutely struggled today. I feel really bad for Kevin Harvick. I hope he can kind of turn around because he had a bad race this weekend. Chase Briscoe, 21st. 22nd, Tyler Reddick. 23rd, Ross Chastain. 24th, Anthony Alfredo. 25th, Cole Custer. 26th, Daniel Suarez. 27th place goes to Alex Bowman after tire issues. Bubba Wallace has finished 28th. Bubba Wallace had some decent speed today, but unfortunately he was multiple laps down. He really never had a chance to get up there. He had power steering issues, and then that oil in the track. But 20th place, solid or decent recovery in my opinion. They're going to get it together eventually in my honest opinion. Justin finishes 29th. BJ McCall finishes 30th. Garrett Smithley finishes 31st. 32nd, Cody Worth. 33rd, Quinn Houff. 34th goes to Joey Yates. 35th, Josh Blicky. 36th place goes to Tim Hill. 37th place goes to Corey Joy. I think he had an engine issue late in the race. That's why he finished 37th because he's running top 20 at some points in this race, but finishes 37th. They're going to get those engine issues and get those kinks fixed because I think they could have decent speed. And Eric Armstrong, after his tire issue, he finishes 38th in today's race. Now I'm going to give you my ratings of today's race, and let's get out of here. So, let me just say for the record, the first half of this race was a 10 out of 10. The racing was outstanding. It was really, really good. You saw a lot of green flag passes for the lead. More lead changes in this race than all of last year. The racing was so good in early race into the race, in my opinion, especially stage 1. I think that's the best first stage we have seen ever since stage racing's happened in the 5 years we've had it. I think that was the best first stage. The second half of the race still kind of was not as good, in my opinion. It was a solid race, in my opinion. But the end of the race, honestly, was not as good. But I'd rather see a race play out naturally and be a little more boring than an exciting finish because I would like to see a more natural finish happen. But overall, today's race, and especially with Kyle Larson winning, I'm going to give today's race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway an 8.5 out of 10. I thought today's race was really, really good in my opinion. Considering the end of the race not being as good, I thought it was a solid race overall, and a really good driver that I really like a lot was able to win today. He's deserved second chance, and I'm glad that he finally gets that first win of 2021. So, anyway, that is going to be for today's race review at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications so you get me notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Link description below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Give me a score below. Let me know in the comments below. And congratulate Kyle Larson on winning today's race. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like so YouTube can recommend more of these great videos out to you guys. If you do that, I would greatly and truly appreciate it. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I'll see you guys next time for more great and awesome NASCAR content. Take care, everybody.